Good morning.
Thanks for coming again in the last speech. How many times have y'all ever been in a hurry to get ready, get out the door in the morning, go to school, work, drop kids off, and forgot to eat breakfast? I know we all have. Whenever I was younger, my mom used to tell me that eating breakfast was a really important part of the day, but my sleep was always more important. So I grew up not really eating breakfast as regularly as I should have. So there are a vast number of doctors and dietitians and nutritionists that say that eating breakfast is one of the most beneficial parts of your day, and that you should always eat breakfast in order to stay mentally and physically healthy. And if we don't eat breakfast, it can lead to health deterioration. By not eating breakfast, it can be harmful to our body, and skipping breakfast contributes to lots of health issues. The largest gap between our meals on a daily basis is the gap between dinner and breakfast when we're asleep. During our sleep, we metabolize the dinner that we've had, and in the morning, our body needs more food. According to Susan Holt, the head of the Human Nutrition Unit at the University of Sydney, claims that when you wake up in the morning, your liver's glycogen stores can be substantially depleted and your blood glucose levels can be relatively low. Your glycogen stores carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are one of the most important things that your body needs in order to have energy for your day. And when you don't get those levels, you become fatigued and cranky, and all you seem to think about is needing that nutrition. So, when we need to eat breakfast in order to have energy to get our brain going as well. Cognitive function is a big deal. We use our brain in our everyday lives. We have to eat breakfast in order to have good function. Holt also states the reason why breakfast is considered important is that it's the most important meal of the day and replenishes all of our body's fuel stores. Obesity is a medical condition where you have too much body fat. If there's a difference between being obese and overweight. Overweight, you can just have too much water on you, or too much muscle, or more muscle than you need. But obesity is a huge epidemic here in the United States, and not eating breakfast can be a huge contributor to obesity. Marcello Giovannini is a doctor at the Department of Pediatrics at San Paolo Hospital in Milan, states that obese children are found to eat less energy in the morning, skip more meals at breakfast, and consume a higher amount of food during the day for the substantial meals throughout the rest of the day. So when we skip breakfast, our body feels hungrier and weaker as the day goes on. We don't have that initial energy. So by lunch, we're usually starving, and we tend to eat more food than we actually really need because we haven't had our breakfast. The subsequent meals, lunch and dinner, they're usually a lot bigger and a lot more unhealthy. They're not as balanced as they would have if you would have had a balanced breakfast. Skipping breakfast also leads to chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Type 2 diabetes occurs when you have high levels of sugar in your bloodstream that the insulin is not able to metabolize it and store it for energy production. So if we skip breakfast and leads to overeating overeating unhealthy foods, usually sugars. There's too much sugar in your bloodstream, which leads to type 2 diabetes. Nutritionalist Sari Harar states that if we skip breakfast, our chances of getting diabetes increases 30 to 50%. It's a huge number. Cardiovascular disease is any kind of disease of the heart. High blood pressure, myocardial myopathy, and several other diseases. The not eating a healthy breakfast increases eating during the day, so it increases your cholesterol because you're eating more and you're eating more unhealthy foods. This also affects your mental health, not eating breakfast. It affects your mood, it affects your memory, and all your other cognitive functions. For your mood, it affects your daily view of the world. So what you might have joy doing, such as your job, if you don't eat breakfast regularly, you might not like it as much, not enjoy it as much as if you would have had breakfast in the morning. We also tend to be more anxious if we don't eat good breakfast in the morning. In terms of memory, Suzanne Krause, who's a registered dietitian at the Hackensack University and Medical Center in New Jersey, says that if we skip breakfast, we tend to lose focus and concentration, as well as the ability to think and problem solve. And these are all things that we use on a day-to-day basis, whether we are at school or performing a job. We need those brain functions in order to do what we need to do to succeed in life. Skipping breakfast is also detrimental to our health, but by simply making the time to eat a healthy and balanced breakfast will improve your health lifestyle. Eating breakfast leads to physical improvements. Dr. Maureen Tinlin, who is a community health professor at the University of Minnesota, says that in order to obtain appetite control, which aids in weight loss and weight control, breakfast must be eaten at the same time every morning. So the rest of your meals will probably occur at the same time and be more balanced. Breakfast should consist of several different things. Registered dietitian Elaine McGee states that a balanced breakfast is 1 serving of a grain, 1 serving of a dairy product or a protein product, and 1 serving of a fruit. So your grains are going to be your breads, have a bagel, have some toast, or some granola. Your dairy products are of course going to be, if you have a bagel, you can put some cream cheese on it, or milk, yogurt, any kind of dairy product. Protein can be a slice of grilled ham or bacon, sausage, but in a 1 serving, not to overeat. And of course, fruit is any kind of fruit: pineapples, strawberries, bananas. You can mix all 3 together. A fruit parfait is a great example of a good balanced breakfast because you have your dairy, which is in the yogurt, you have your fruit, which is whatever fruit you want to use, and then you have your granola, which is your grain. So, and it's a very simple thing to make. If we can control our appetite, we have the ability to lose weight and help maintain a healthy body weight. Breakfast will also lower your risk of chronic diseases and obesity. According to Dr. Mark Perriera, who's a professor of etymology at the University of Minnesota, says that eating breakfast on a regular basis has been found to be protective against total and cardiovascular disease-related death. For cardiovascular disease tends to clog arteries if you have high cholesterol and things like that, and eating a balanced breakfast keeps your arteries pumping and keeps your energy up, so you have overall health. Breakfast also yields mental health improvements. A study done by health psychologists Andrew Smith and Amanda Wilds shows that eating breakfast increases your memory ability and improves your mood. This study was given to people of all different ages, and they were given different inventories before they ate breakfast. They were given breakfast at the same time every morning, and then after they ate breakfast, they looked at their differences in their mood and their cognitive function. For the mood, they did tests on their alertness, their hedonic tone, which is the overall pleasure you get out of daily activities in life, and your level of anxiety. For memory, they tested your free recall, your delayed recognition, your logical reasoning, and your semantic processing. And through this study, it showed that by eating breakfast, it increased all of these. You were much more alert, you had an overall more positive view on life, you weren't as anxious, and your cognitive functioning was very high. Who knew that one simple meal could be so beneficial to your health? In conclusion, skipping out on breakfast is not good at all for your health, mentally and physically. But just by eating a simple meal, it can improve your overall health significantly. In order to ensure optimal health, just eat breakfast every day. Eat a balanced breakfast. It's not that hard to wake up a few minutes early in the morning and grab a breakfast. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, do your body a favor and